This is part 3 or lecture 3 for RN 205. So let's talk about play. When infants play, they just play by themselves, right? Solitary play. And we said they use their senses to learn as they play. As they become toddlers, that's that kind of 1 to 3 age, they do parallel play, which means they like other kids. They want to go be around the other kids, but then they sit down next to them and do the same thing the child's doing, but it's not interactive. So same play next to each other, parallel play. As they become preschoolers, now they start to interact, and it's associative play. And they're playing interactively with each other, but there are no rules and no structure. These are the kids that they'll run around saying, "We're playing monsters, and one time when you play monsters, you are monsters. Another time when you play monsters, you're chasing monsters. Another time, in the very middle, somebody will say, 'I'm the monster, chase me,' and so they do, and then the same child says, 'I'm not a monster, there's a monster over there,' and then you run over that way. So the rules are totally fluid. Finally, we get to school age where they can play cooperatively. This is where the rules do matter. So beginning around age 5, they can follow rules, and they actually love games with rules. And following the rules at this age, they like it. They like things to have that structure. Pain. So how do we assess pain on a pediatric client? Well, we've got to make sure we're using the correct assessments, the correct tool, and then treating it correctly. So what are signs of pain? In an infant, it's crying, right? And this rigid body, the older infant can withdraw from, kind of as they see something coming, they pull away. But that face there with the eyes crunched and the mouth wide open, that is a typical infant painful crying face. So on infants and young children who can't tell us that they're in pain, we use this Flack Scale. It stands for face, legs, activity, cry, consolability. You can have a 0, 1, or 2 in each of those. So it's a 0 to 10 pain scale, right? So you look at the face. Are they smiling? Are they grimacing? Are they doing that scrunched up baby face with the eyes closed, mouth wide open? Legs relaxed, kind of tense, or are they stiff, either drawn up stiff or stretched out stiff, or between the two? Activity, just normal, a little uncomfortable, shifting around, or rigid, arched, not moving, guarding. Cry, not crying, occasionally crying, constant crying. Consolable, they're relaxed. 1 is they're fussy, but if you pick them up, they're consolable. 2 is they're hard to console. And if you want to look at a video of a baby and try and give them a Flack score, you can do that. So that's for our infant. For a child who's a little older, we're going to see that crying and thrashing. They are not going to cooperate. As they get a little older and are verbal, they're going to try and stall you out. They're going to say, "Wait a minute. Wait till my show's done. Wait till my mom gets here. They're trying to make you wait forever." So we can agree to wait for certain things, but you can't let them be in control here, because they will stall you forever. They'll try and push away whatever they see that's coming that's painful. They'll cling to their primary caregiver or a significant person. They'll be stiff and rigid. And the problem with these kind of a younger child is once they know a painful procedure is coming, all these stress reactions start. So we don't want to tell them too much before, just tell them immediately before. See, she's trying to make you wait forever. And we can look at a child and understand that they really are in pain versus, they're just upset about something else. After the Flack Scale, we tend to use the Baker-Wang faces. These can be either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So know how your facility uses that. There are recommended words to use with them. No hurt, hurts a little more, hurts even more. And that's recommended to use those words. If you use different words, just be careful what words you use, because some they don't understand, like, extreme discomfort, or some are just scary. They don't know the word and they don't know what it might, excruciating might be. So you show them that for this, you show them the faces and they pick the one they're feeling like. Then older children and teens, we're going to go with that 0 to 10 self-report, just like we do with adults. One of the problems we have with pediatric self-report, though, especially, our school age or younger kids, is they may not be honest because they're afraid of what you're going to do. They're afraid if they tell you they're in pain that you're going to give them a shot or some medicine that they don't like. So if they tell you they're not in pain, but the parent says they are, believe the parent. And in the pediatric population, we undertreat children for pain. That's what studies have shown. So how should we treat pain? Well, we can use those non-pharmacologic methods. Play. That's both a distraction and it lets them act out their stress. Let them use a doll and do the procedure on the doll, or they can tell their doll, you're going to the hospital and they're going to do this. Let them watch their favorite things on TV, whatever other distractions work for them. Reading a book, listening to music, doing crafts, whatever they like. With kids, it often seems like they go from no pain to extreme pain, and that's because they're really good at using distraction until they can't. So they do go from, the pain is well controlled through distraction, through talking to their family, doing a craft, whatever, until the pain is too much and the distraction doesn't work. So it looks like they jumped suddenly to extreme pain. So don't not treat pain earlier in children. Let's try and treat it earlier. The problem is because they're good at distraction, they don't look like they're in as much pain as they actually are. And let's try and have some fun. So pharmacologically, what we're going to do with kids, if we're expecting it to be painful, we should do around-the-clock medicine. So we don't need them to tell us they're in pain. Most of our pain meds are really good at preventing pain and only marginal at relieving the pain. So it's better to get on a schedule and prevent the pain from getting bad. So that's when stuff is ordered around the clock, and that's usually like the first 24 or 48 hours. Let's use the least traumatic route. So usually that's going to be PO or IV, not IM. Right? Narcotics, just like with adults, we're going to use this moderate to severe pain, and we use morphine, oxycodone, fentanyl. The one med we don't use with kids is Demerol, which the generic name is meperidine, because it lowers the seizure threshold. It has some central nervous system side effects where it lowers the seizure threshold, and we don't want these kids having a seizure on us. We can use a PCA pump with kids, and it is, I've heard people say it's illegal. It's not illegal. We can make a family-controlled PCA pump, but that's not a patient-controlled then. And if you're going to simulation after class today, this is what we're going to do. We're going to work on pediatric math, chart out growth charts, do assessments using the pediatric simulator, and then do a developmental assessment where you'll work with each other, and one of you will be the mom and the other will be the nurse.